Good evening. You should have an update in your packet on what's been happening since I've been here last. Exciting news is we received word recently of our third year of funding through the Joint Chiefs, and spelled out as U.S. Forest Service will be receiving $512,000, the NRCS $150,000, and the Department of Forestry about $170,000 to be spent in the pasture project area. So that's pretty exciting news because all that money is used locally, and a lot of the work is done by local businesses. So excited about that news. Sustainable recreation. I just talk on this when I'm in. Things that we have going on right now is just the Longdale Recreation Area. We're going to keep that gate closed just for security reasons. People can still hike in, but we won't be opening that bathroom this year. And then the Eastern National Children's Forest, we're in the process just finishing up the signage. And we have quite a few. We've already had area third graders up there. I don't know if you've heard, they have a pen pal program with separate elementary schools right to each other all year, and then they actually meet each other up at Children's Forest, and they spend time up there getting environmental education. And that's kind of a cooperative partnership, especially between the Master Naturalists, the U.S. Forest Service staff, the Extension Office. So it's pretty exciting. We have that coming up next Friday. I think we have another group of third graders. So we're pretty excited about that program. Roads, there's a lot going on. You probably see the long list of roads that we have work going on this year. Crow's Run, Gas Pipe Road, Top Drive. Just comment about Top Drive. I received information from our engineers, and that work on Top Drive, just because of the rock work that's going to have to be done on that road, we will have to close that road for about 45 days. And that's between State Route 770, the Collarstown Road, and then 850, or the State Route 60, that piece of Top Drive, the whole length of it. The contractor's going to need that closed for that period of time. We will be contacting the private landowners on the Rockbridge side of that road, but on the Alleghany side, it's all National Forest land. Prescribed fires this year, we had green up came really quickly this year with all the rain and warm weather. So we're pretty much completed as far as our prescribed burn program, but we are still working on preparation for prescribed burns in the fall and then the spring. So we're doing a lot of mechanical treatment right now in preparation for that. And then future projects, Potts Mountain, we decided to combine that with the Morning Knob restoration work. So we're going to be doing a lot of surveys this summer, and you'll probably see in the news we'll probably be having some more public open houses and some public meetings about plans up there on both Potts Mountain and Morning Knob. Grizzle Skipper restoration, we should be getting a scoping letter out on that project coming up soon. We did talk about it at our open house in February, but that project is moving along. And then Evans Track, we are hoping to get that parking lot improvements done, especially expansion of that parking lot, because it's really tight as far as getting turned around, especially if you have kayaks or canoes in that area. So our plan is to get that parking lot expanded this summer. That's all we have.
Entertain questions if anybody has one. Anyone have any questions? Yes. Questions from the back.
What about the Jerry's Run Road?
So Jerry's Run, both Jerry's Run and I'm trying to think the other road, but we have two roads that are very costly. It's going to be our estimate right now. The funding we have is $1.7 million. So we actually, the design work is going to go on right now. This fiscal year, our fiscal year runs to the end of September, and then we will be putting it out for contract in fiscal year 2020, which starts October 1. So that's Rogers Road and Jerry's Run Road. Those are the two. So between the two, it's $1.7 million of reconstruction.
That's all a product of the big rain event we had.
From June 23rd, 2016, yeah. So that's IRFO funding. And a lot of these roads that are listed in that packet are IRFO roads too, but they weren't as extensive, the damage, and that's why we were able to get that construction work started earlier.
Did I understand you said bathroom facilities at Longdale Recreation Area was
So we're keeping the gate closed. It's still a trailhead, people can walk in from there, but we're not going to be opening the gate this summer.
Only comment I'd have there. Okay.
I mean, we are looking into options. I know there's a meeting next week. You know, we've been talking about different options for the Longdale area, and I know, you know, we have a meeting coming up next week to talk about different options we've been talking about.
That's what I was going to say. You know, please make yourself available to work. There's a group of citizens out there putting a lot of effort into trying to
Right.
salvage,
Right. Yeah, and I'm continuing
retain
to look.
ownership, or somehow manage that facility out there. So
I mean, there's a lot of potential. It's just, we're just suffering from, you know, extreme budget cuts in our recreation department.
well, it would cost a tremendous amount of money for the area to replace what you already have there as an asset, even though you're short on funds and it's suffered a little bit from over the years. But if there's any way we could salvage the site in its entirety, I think there's a lot of people would be willing to participate in that.
Right, and that's why, you know, I'm continuing to pursue options and grant opportunities for the Longdale area, because I think it's you know, it's important to the Allegheny community, Longdale, and we want to keep it safe, but we also, you know, are looking for options that can make it more available to the public.
One other question. Are you satisfied with the way that we set up your welcome center? How's that working jointly with the chamber?
Oh, it's working great. I mean, I think the hardest thing is just, you know, probably, it's been over a year now. It's been since April 2018 we've been there. And I guess, you know, it was just getting the word out as much as we could that how to find us. And so I think people have found us. You know, there was a lot. It was very difficult during the shutdown because you know, people were coming in and we couldn't staff at that time. And so we're you know, we keep asking, you know, at the top level, you know, how, you know, maybe we could share, especially wood permits. That was a really difficult time to not be able to issue wood permits in January. And so we're looking at options, you know, how we could maybe share the ability, or even online, you know, for people to get their wood permits, because that was a tough time not to be able to issue permits.
Thank you.